Conlu goes over a tenth of a second fast.
Ladies, gentlemen, and others, welcome to the 4th round of the Formula Trout Sprint Series, and I can tell you, it's going to be dusty out here today as we head to the Dutch dunes and the Circuit Zandvoort. Incredibly close to the coastline, 4.3 or kilometers or 2.6 miles of high speed and winding track lies in wait, with 14 corners, all incredibly different in nature to each other, making it incredibly hard to set up the car for the race. But we may lack the banking that now adorns the track at turns 4 and 15 due to the fact that this version of Zandvoort we're racing at today isn't quite up to date. I'm sure it won't be taken away from the racing action whatsoever. We can see here the driver standings heading into round 4, very close between our top two drivers, Max Young and Oscar Williams, both in the Birmingham race teams, 88 points and 83 points respectively. Jaap Wagenvoort, even apologies, still within a chance of the title, but given the dominance of those two at the front, it's incredibly likely he could be mathematically without a chance after today. And everybody else, well, that's it for them. It's all game over as far as they're concerned in terms of whether they'll be able to, well, actually get into the championship. I'm joined today as we head over to qualifying by Formula Trout Premier Series driver Toby Sanford, as hopefully our game pops up. There we go. Are you there, Toby?
I am indeed. Hello everybody, pleasure to see you on this lovely, well, here at least in the UK, Sunday evening. Hopefully going to have some pretty nice racing and so on ahead of us.
Indeed we are. We're just following around a Maxi Younger. I believe this should be a lap. I'm not too sure. Again, timing screens first time out. Not usually the greatest thing in the world early on in qualifying. But Oscar Williams currently testing the pace with a 1:31.5, which is not a bad lap at all. I was informed the other day that I have made a mistake. There are no attack modes allowed in qualifying, so that was my mistake from the last race. I thought you were allowed them, so I just wanted to clarify that. And now another thing just to note is I was talking with Maxi Younger as the other day, and we were just talking about you know, the pace between he and him and Oscar Williams as they we just carry on following Oscar round through here, and he was saying that him and Oscar, you know, they're the two dominant drivers in this sprint series, and they are so similar on pace, but he was just saying they have very contrasting driving styles, and as a result it seems that every weekend one or the other one is faster. So at first at Monaco Maxi was quicker, then at Laguna it was Oscar, then at Valencia it was Maxi. So if that's anything mathematical to go by, that means that this weekend it's this man's race to lose, Oscar Williams. But don't let the Welsh wizard maybe just put you in your place just yet. You know, anything can happen here in the Formula Trout Sprint Series. Obviously these are VRC Lithium Formula Lithium 2019 cars based off of the 2019 Formula E regulations. Zandvoort, not usually a track you'd expect to see them at. You know, they're typically found around at street circuits, not a kind of a set road circuit kind of car. And you know, especially coming through the second sector in this very, very fast, very, very technical. You've got to get it pinpoint with your accuracy, and that's a car very off to the inside there. Not sure who that was. I think one of the Nova Finlandias. And yeah, through this middle sector, we'll just go on board with Oscar Williams now as he travels through, and you can see it's not typically a track these cars like, and he's actually having to lift off through here. In a lot of modern Formula cars, that is totally flat in the right conditions. These cars just don't have the downforce and they don't have the grip from those road tyres. You can see there Williams running off the road, and that is into the wall. And well, I think that will be the end of that qualifying lap for the time being. 9 minutes and 20 seconds remaining here at Zandvoort. We'll have a look around. I believe it was Jaap Wagenvoort that was facing the wrong direction a minute ago, and it would appear to be the case because he's got a bit of a crunched front right. Heads down into this left-hander now. We'll just follow Jaap around for the rest of this lap. Why don't we? Heading into this the rather most awkward section of the track. Down this hill and heavy braking into this very clumsy right. Kind of, it's almost a chicane slash hairpin. It's that clumsy right-hander into this left hairpin. There's a big grandstand there now in real life, not there in game, fortunately, and then this another, actually quite an awkward corner as well. If you run out of road on the exit, it's just a gravel trap, which can really, really punish you. And again, this is banked now in real life as well to really get the cars spinning along as Yap comes into the pits. I believe Oscar's stayed out. No, he hasn't. It's Maxi Younger that's stayed out. At the moment, Williams on the provisional pole. Yap Wagenvoort in P2, a 10th down. Maxi Younger, bit of improvement needed to be done. He's a 10th and a half off of Oscar Williams, but, you know, it's Maxi, and I'm sure we'll be seeing a Vermin front row lockout pretty quickly. Vanterlant's just gone a 132.9 there. It's 1.8 seconds off the pace. Tim Erler as well behind 2 seconds. But I believe we do have more cars on the grid today. I'm just not too sure whereabouts they are. As, we'll carry on following Maxi around for the time being. And, also, good news is that apparently my keyboard appears to have slightly fixed itself. Assetto Corsa now does not hate me anymore on the camera's front, so you can get all these nice cameras. Ooh, that's a bit of damage on Maxi. You can see there just the fine margins. Look how close he was to the white line there. And again, really on the edge of the curve. That's a very nice. I might have to use that camera angle more often, actually. Just be an experiment along. Now, 7 minutes 36 seconds left at the moment. Toby, a minute ago, I was just saying how Maxi thinks that this race is Oscar's to lose, given the current form of this season. But do you think otherwise? Who's your money on as we head into Zandvoort?
Well, last time out in Valencia, both of the Vermins were very strong out of the box, and obviously both had contrasting races, or vastly contrasting races between each other in race 1 and race 2. So I am going to hesitate. Well, I'm not going to put any bets on who I think is going to come better off this race, because obviously there was just so much going on at Valencia last time out, and both of these guys in race 1 and race 2, you know, they both kind of suffered a couple of blows, possibly not their own fault. So again, it's just these two are going to have to focus on getting up front in qualifying and just sprinting away at the start of this race, and it's just going to be up to them coming towards the end of this race as to what they would like. Well, it's their decision as to whether or not they choose to battle one another or just come home 1-2.
Yeah, well, obviously the case typically is a Vermin lockout in race 1. Race 2 obviously having a reverse grid for the top 10. And Maxi Younger just about half a tenth up on his best lap at the moment. He's currently on provisional pole as he comes into just through the middle sector. That's
opposite lock there into... Oh, number is that? Is that I believe that's 11. 11 there for you, Maxi.
Yeah, it's 11 or 10. Apologies, my our corner remembrance here at Zandvoort clearly not the greatest, but we shall persevere in the certified Formula Trout commentary booth, trademarked. Call it what you will. And a bit wide there through the penultimate corner. And coming through onto the main straight, and he's actually going to come into the pits, I think. Yeah, so not happy with that lap is Younger. A few cars out at the moment. Here's Jamie Elston in the Lioneers racing car, who put in a pretty strong performance last time out at Laguna Seca, must be said. I was quite impressed with him. And again, springing to Monaco as well was not bad from Elston. Not doing too well at the moment, though. P6 out of 8 who have set a lap. Pandro Topoulos well off the pace at the moment, about second back on Kees Willems and P7, or Case Willems even, apologies. And, Tim Erler as well, another driver 2 seconds off the pace. I wouldn't expect him to see him that far down the order. Just coming up to 5 minutes to go now here at qualifying. Again, if you've got any questions, don't be afraid to put them in the chat. We'd love to hear from you all. And we're very happy to ask any questions here in the commentary booth. And again, the timing screen just hates us in qualifying, unfortunately. So there's going to be a few niggles. I believe it might possibly need an update that I may have missed. I will check after this race. And you can hear the engine of my Mercedes camera car in the background, buzzing away politely. There is Maxi Younger. Oscar Williams retaking the provisional pole in the time being. It's gone 2.5 tenths quicker than Maxi at the moment. But the track evolution really starting to come into play by the looks of things. It's lap time is just tumbling quicker and quicker. And at the moment as well, it looks like these three guys up the front are going to be in a bit of a class of their own. Oscar Williams, Maxi Younger, Yap Wagenvoort. Those guys are the three to beat. And Younger just makes sure he's got some clear air there, I think. That'll just warming the brakes up on his run into the penultimate corner. At this point, your foot is flat out, and I often talk about the lack of grip these Formula Lithium cars have. But that's in comparison to maybe the Formula Hybrid cars that the Premier Series runs. Because trust me, these things are still very much race cars. There's still a lot of grip in store. Into T1 he goes. Nice and tight, late apex. Don't clip the curb on the exit because it's quite high. It will actually unsettle the car quite a bit. Now turn 4, very, very tricky. You want to be early on the brakes for turn 3 and then bring it in. This is very aggressively banked now in real life. As part of the renovation work that was done to the track. I believe it was 2019 or 2020. It was done into the middle sector now. We'll go on board with Junger. Don't clip that curb on the inside because you'll find yourself in the outside wall very, very quickly. Not quite flat in these cars. But Maxi, well, he's going as quick as he can through there anyway. And another tricky corner, tight, very early turn in. That's one of the, that's Case Willems off the road there on the left-hand side. And then run the curb out wide on the exit. Bring it in. Just look how close Maxi is running to the edge of the track. Very fine margins. He is absolutely on the limit at this time. Currently leading the way in the championship. I'm sure he'll be looking to extend his lead this Saturday or Sunday evening, apologies. Heading now into the penultimate corner again, just right on the right line. A lot better through there this time as well. And running the curb on the exit. This looks to be a quick lap. As actually Jaap Wagenvoort has gone to the pole in the time being. That being said, Maxi Junger is going to come in and smash that lap time with a 1:30.2. 5 tenths up on Jaap Wagenvoort. That is one hell of a lap from Maxi Junger. Now, what can Oscar Williams do? I believe he is on a lap as well, so we'll follow him round into the penultimate corner. Not running as much of the inside curb as Junger on his way through. Onto the main straight, running a lot wider on the exit as well. Let's see how it's going to be. He's 2 tenths down is Oscar Williams. So, at the moment, it's Junger on pole. These guys do have time to go around for another lap if they keep on the pace. Wagenvoort looks like he's given up. He's happy with third. He is not going to have time to get another lap, and I don't think unless he really pushes to the line. Junger will definitely have time for another lap as well.
Yeah, they'll just be lifting off at this point, recharging the batteries a little bit. Obviously cooling things down, tyres, brakes, so on and so forth. They're just going to be going for another lap. They only have time for one more flying lap at the end of this session. Obviously you see Maxi just crawling along, just trying to get a bit of space, probably trying to bring the temperatures down a little more on those tyres and brakes just to eke out that little bit. Oh, is that?
That was Panjatopoulos, I think, off the road, yeah, in the final corner. Yes, it was.
That was indeed good catch, Ross. But
yeah, it's, luckily, Maxi Junger seems to have carried on his way. Panjatopoulos obviously racing for the newly formed Concord Racing. Off he goes on his lap. I'm very curious, however, while he's on that, it's going to be tight for Oscar Williams and Jaap Wagenvoort. And that's Jamie Elston behind. No, it's not. It's Case Willems behind. I think they're going to be just okay, though. Williams definitely will be. Wagenvoort should be as well. Willems is going to be close. Is he going to be able to get to the line? Yes, he can just start flying laps. So these four are going to be able to get it. Tim Erler, that's not Philip Erler, even not Tim Erler. He's not going to be able to start another lap. Van der Land crosses the line. He'll go P5 at the end of qualifying. Now, Maxi Junger is down on his fastest time at the moment. 1.5 tenths. That's someone chatting in the chat there. Please. Oh, that's really sideways. And Maxi Junger is definitely not going to improve on this lap anymore. Loops it round and the left-hander back to the pits he goes. He's done with that. He's on pole for the time being. But what can Oscar Williams do as he comes to the... Oh, nothing separating them through this the first split time there. Well, Karen following Oscar Williams round. Jaap Wagenvoort apparently not on a lap according to our timing screens. So we won't be able to see what kind of times he's running. Oscar Williams, however, this is going to be very, very close between himself and Maxi Junger to decide pole position for race 1 here at Zandvoort. Obviously, the format as usual, 2 20-minute races. First race, the grid is decided by qualifying. The second race, the grid is decided by the reverse grid of the first race results. Oscar Williams, Pandratopoulos gets out of the way very kindly there. Oscar Williams coming to the line, running down the middle of the track. What's it going to be as he comes to the line? Oh, he just misses out. It's 2/10 down. Actually, not even an improvement from that. So it's going to be Maxi Junger on the pole. Oscar Williams once again completing that Vermin front row lockout. Jaap Wagenvoort will take P3. Philip Erler P4. Vantelant P5. Case Willems P6. Jamie Elston P7. And Pandratopoulos rounding out the field down in P8. Well, Toby, we thought that, well, I thought anyway that Williams was going to take pole. And, well, that's not what happened.
Yeah, just not entirely sure what would have happened there. Oh,
my Assetto Corsa has just crashed. Apologies for this, everybody. Hopefully we can get back in very, very quickly. Do you just carry on with your monologue for the time being?
No problem. Just, yeah, obviously, bit of a scruffy session, it looked like, from everyone. A couple of errors here and there. Obviously, Maxi losing control at the back end of the car on the entry to 11, I believe, which is surprisingly easy to do in these things, because as I said at Valencia, there's I believe the meta is to run the car with maximum recovery just to keep the battery full at all times, unless it's not allowed. And if that's the case, then my mistake. But obviously, just the amount of recovery you're running on the back of the these cars, it kind of acts almost like a handbrake if you go just that little bit too hard on the brake, which may have been what Maxi did, which unsettled the back end of the car and obviously set him around on his final attempt in qualifying.
Yeah, indeed. Looks like we've only got 8 competitors in the race here today. Unfortunately, we've just got a few minutes until the lights go out. I was also informed by Maxi, I believe, that Alex Heinonen actually has a 1-race ban. I've just been told to do something by Mr. Kilgore Trout himself, so we'll just go back into the standby screen while I do this. Hopefully I can find it. I think that's supposed to be what I'm doing, I assume.
Oh, are you trying to turn the sound off for your car?
No, I'm trying. Am I? Hang on. No, I'm trying to turn the sound of the other cars up.
Should be opponents, I believe.
Ah, yeah, that would make sense. I might be able to turn my own engine off, actually. I'll do that and then turn them up. There you are. Thank you for the help.
No problem.
And now we can come back in. I am back in the server. Don't panic, everybody. But yeah, only 8 cars out there today. And it was Alex Heinonen, I believe, actually has a 1-race ban. Which I will just double check with. Yep, Alex Heinonen, a 1-race ban. So he's got a lot of penalty points over the course of the season, so he's just out for this race, which is why he's not present in the other Nova Finlandia car. And that is about it. That's all the news you really need to know. Just a minute to go now until we get underway in race 1. Now, what will happen? Will those Vermin cars get away very cleanly? Or will it be a shock? Well, maybe it's Jaap Wagenvoort running off of P3 who's able to get the jump on them. He's still got an outside hope of the championship at this current rate. Whether it's a realistic hope, well, that's another discussion for another day, but mathematically he's still in the fight. As we just wait now. Oh, sorry.
That's all right. I was just going to say, clock just ticking away to the lights coming on for this race.
Yeah, it's seemingly a very, very long wait until we go green here at Zandvoort for race 1.
I can tell you it feels a lot longer from these guys' positions as well, from experience with the Premier Split stuff.
Oh, I can imagine.
Premier Series stuff, I apologise.
I can imagine. Well, here we are, the lights finally appearing on the screen. As we wait now for the start of race 1 here in the Formula Trout Sprint Series. Round 4 here at Zandvoort. The lights are out. We're underway here at Zandvoort. Looks like Max Junger actually who gets the best start out of anybody. Oscar Williams, he cuts straight to the inside to defend. Jaap Wagenvoort's getting boxed in here. And Williams going to go try and go round the outside. Big heap of sparks there in the background. But for the time being, it's Junger, Williams, Wagenvor as we were from the grid. Into turn 4 we go. Ooh, really deep from Oscar Williams there. He's really pushing. Wants to try and get in front of Maxi early on. He knows that this is going to be one of the only opportunities he's able to get through. As they head now into the right-hander, this is definitely not going to be an overtaking opportunity through these next few corners. This could be Junger's chance to break away. And look already the gap that those 3 cars in front have. A second from Wagenvort to Case Wilhelms in P4. They have absolutely bolted away. And, well, because the grid is so small today, that means that the reverse grid is not going to have as much of an impact for these drivers. So this could definitely improve their chances in race 2 as well. It's going to be Junger holding the position for the time being. Pandratopoulos and Wagenvort both already using attack modes. Very aggressive start from those 2 drivers. Pandratopoulos struggling down the back though, still not too confident with this car by the looks of things.
Williams looks to have a fantastic run coming through this last corner. He might, if he chooses to, deploy his attack mode just to get the move done. Obviously, you can see he's sitting in the toe of his teammate Junger. Junger falls to the inside, possibly defending that position. You can see the light blinking there, recovering battery on entry. Very surprising to see that this early on.
Yeah, there's
Williams
no... Sorry,
behind. That's my mistake. Sorry. Williams here just sitting behind. Is going to have to possibly wait another lap. There's a very, very thin margin of errors. That's Euler.
Yeah, it looks like Philip Euler's had a bit of a spin down at T1, unfortunately for him. But yeah, sorry for just interrupting you there, Toby. Max Junger is still holding the lead at the moment.
This back end of the circuit is going to be very, very critical today because there is a very, very thin margin of error. You cannot run over these curves, otherwise you're going to get sucked in by the grass and just taken straight to the nearest barrier. You can see Wagenvort right on the back of Williams here through this section.
Indeed, as Williams heads through, he's not got his attack mode on yet. Wagenvort does, and is actually gaining on Williams a little bit. Elston, I think, has just gone off. Yes, he has. That's Jamie Elston round, and that's going to be Philip Euler possibly getting round him at this awkward right-hander. Not for the time being, though. Pandratopoulos promoted to 6th in the process, and Junger, I think, is just feeling quite comfortable at the moment in P1. Heading round the final corner now, and he's led every lap so far this race. 2 out of 2 will be as he comes to the line, and he carries on his way. Wagenvort maybe having a look on Oscar Williams. Not quite. That attack mode is going to run out very shortly, and just as I say that, it does indeed run out. So he's only got 1 attack mode left. And that will be very, very crucial around here. The quick back sector, you can get a lot of extra speed by using that attack mode through there. Up to 40 kilometers an hour is the total gain if used in the right place at the right time. That being said, Wagenvort is in the slipstream of Williams at the moment. Just can't quite get the pace, it seems, and get the opportunity to get the move done. He's very much on the attack as it stands.
Williams, I believe, as well, has just deployed his first attack mode of 2 he has available this race, possibly trying to close the gap to his teammate Junger.
Indeed he is. As he goes past there, you'll have just seen on his halo those flashing LED lights, which you now won't see from this angle, but you will see about now. There you go. That is indicating he is using his attack mode. Obviously, as Toby said, 2 of those available in each race, and it gives you just that extra boost of power for about 4 minutes at a time. You can also tell from the numbers on the right hand side of the timing screen, just on the right of the gaps, those numbers, the number refers to how many they have left and what colour it is. If it's red, that means they're using it. If it's black, that means they are not using it. And if it's 0, that either means they've run out or it's qualifying when they're not allowed to use it. And as we say that, Williams setting the fastest lap of the race there, a 1:30.773. Very, very strong lap. That was wide from Wagenvort through turn 1 as well. And he's going to fall behind the 2 Vermin guys. And Williams is really pushing at the moment. But Junger still is yet to use an attack mode. So he's quite happy, I think, just sitting and defending from Williams. Or maybe even letting him take the position. He doesn't see the need to fight. We're only about 6 minutes into this race. And
Jung
Williams,
as well responded to Williams' use of the attack mode. They're now both on one attack mode left each.
yeah, this is very early, especially from these guys to be using an attack mode. Typically, they're later in the race usage from both of them, but they're well in a battle. No team orders apparent here. And, well, as it stands, it's Vermin 1, Vermin 2, and all hands on deck here in the Formula Trout Sprint Series, round 4 at Zandvoort. Wagenvoort just sticking onto the back of this lead battle at the moment. And it looks like Willems van Salant might have a little bit of company from behind. Elston and Erler still fighting as well. They're catching up to the back of Pandratopoulos. A lot of damage on the front of Elston's car. But right now, the fight we're going to focus on is Maxi Junger and Oscar Williams. There's the camera I was looking for. You might be able to see how much that Oscar Williams gains on the straight or not. There we go. And you'll see with the attack mode, Williams still lapping faster than Junger at the moment, a 1:30.624, new fastest lap of the race, but his attack mode is going to run out pretty soon. He needs to get past Junger and go on the defensive if he wants to get this win. And Junger at the moment just driving his own race, not making any mistakes. They've now put 3.7 seconds into Wagenvoort behind, which leads me to believe that Wagenvoort's made a mistake somewhere. As they all come through. Pandratopoulos and Elston. Elston using his attack mode, as is Pandratopoulos, as is Erler. Erler already out of his attack mode, which is unusual for him. Usually he's using his a lot more sparingly, but clearly not today. Zandvoort being a big shake-up, it would appear today. Williams now has used up his first attack mode, so he's now lost that power advantage, which was then neutralised by Junger. Junger now holds the power advantage. He still has about half a lap or so of it, I believe. And this is where it's going to come into play into this final sector. Through this fast right-hander onto the main straight. That's where the power region is. Is Williams going to be able to stay in that toe? He might not be able to with the power, with the attack mode even on Junger. And that lap still slightly faster from Williams, that lap. 1:31.246. Ooh, bit of a lock-up from Maxi Junger into T1 there. And Wagenvoort actually gained on both of them on that lap. Coming into turn 4 now. Obviously, this is very steeply banked nowadays, akin to that of an oval circuit in the United States. This version of the track not quite being up to date. We don't, unfortunately, have a modern version of Circuit Zandvoort in Assetto Corsa. So we are unable to experience the true modernity of the track. And also what's seemingly lacking is the wave of Max Verstappen fans that would be in the grandstand, as I presume. Even if Max Verstappen isn't racing here. I'm taking the victory to there, though, in the Formula 1, so I'm sure Holland is very happy. Junger's attack mode now out of juice. Coming up to halfway through race 1. This battle tantalisingly close. Not close enough to cause any damage, as Elston, I think, has gone off the road again on the exit of turn 4. Maybe just getting the power down too early. Obviously, these Formula Lithium cars being all electric, there's immediate 100% torque, so it's very sometimes tricky when you're putting the your foot down. It can be very easy to find yourself looping around because you've got all the pushing power available all the time. Another question is from Junger and Williams. Who uses their second attack mode first? My guess would be Williams again. And, well, will one of these guys make a mistake? At the moment, Junger is absorbing the pressure very, very well. And he's not one to make a mistake. But Oscar Williams is, and you can see there, Williams much, much cleaner through that corner. On the run now. Down into the middle sector. And through the right-hander. Let's go on board with Williams as they head through. Just maybe try and get a comparison of what Max Junger's doing. Junger a bit wider through there. Down a gear and into the right-hander. Junger seems to be struggling, actually, in comparison to Williams. Seems to just can't quite get the lines right, but Williams just can't seem either to string a lap together or just can't make the overtaking opportunities appear. He's quick, but just not quick enough to truly catch up to the back of Maxi Junger. Dirty Air may possibly be playing its role here, obviously with the fair amount of downforce these VRC Formula Lithium 2019 cars have. And again through there, Maxi taking a lot less curb than Williams. And I know I keep talking about mine and Maxi's conversation earlier in the week, but it was really very helpful, so I do want to extend my thanks to him for the inside info he's been sliding me about the sprint series. As Williams has a little look, letting Junger know he's there. But Maxi was telling me how different his and Oscar's driving styles are, and Oscar is really close now. This could be a dive bomb into turn 4 if he's feeling brave. Maxi covers the inside. Now on the run back out again. And well, Toby, there's not a lot of overtaking points here at Zandvoort. If he's going to have to do it, I think he's going to have to be into turn 1, turn 4, that awkward little chicane. What do you think?
I'm going to have to agree there. This back end is very much just a sit back and relax almost for these two. It's not really a realistic opportunity to make a move unless you're thinking about it at a turn 12, which is that awkward right-hander left hairpin. Just look how close these two are to each other at the moment. I think this battle is going to be won on whoever deploys their attack mode last, because you're going to be put at a disadvantage if you deploy first, because obviously it's just going to run out before the guy ahead of you or behind.
Yeah, these two just seemingly locked together. It seems that Williams in these last few minutes have had the slight pace advantage over this phase of the race. But Junger just sitting strong, and as you said, Toby, I am just going to have to agree with you. It's all about who deploys their attack mode last and where they deploy it, who utilises it the best at the moment. And both of them holding firm. And obviously, whoever wins this race will be starting from the back of the second race with the reverse grid. So if we finish as we are, it will be advantage Oscar in race 2. But they'll still be on the same row of the grid. And all it takes is if Oscar does start from P7 and Maxi from P8, all it takes is for Maxi to get a slightly better start. And, well, we're back in this scenario again. I'm sure, judging by the pace advantage these two have had all race long, that we will be back in this scenario in race 2, whether it be this way round or the other way round, but just have to wait and see. 7 minutes remaining here in race 1 of round 4 of the Formula Trout Sprint Series here at Circuit Zandvoort, situated obviously in the sand dunes of the Netherlands. As part of the appeal of this circuit is the fact that it's basically on a beach. Well, not quite on a beach per se, but it's very near a beach.
It's not even a stone's throw away from the beach. I've actually been to this circuit in real life, and was fortunate enough to watch a DTM race here before that series tragically folded in not the series folding in 2017, but I managed to spectate a race there in 2017, and it's just a phenomenal location, this circuit. Just sand dunes everywhere, the beach not even a stone's throw away, and just an incredible venue. I can't tell you just how small the paddock seems compared to the rest of the circuit and its surroundings. It's just ridiculous.
I can truly imagine. However, Maxi Junger has activated his attack mode. Oscar Williams is on the attack and still hasn't activated it. So at the moment, Junger feels the time is right to get that extra power. Williams hasn't used that yet and is all over the gearbox of his Vermin teammate. So it's advantage Oscar Williams at the moment, because if he has that attack mode at the end of the race, because Junger will run out with about a minute and a half to spare, Williams, he's got the pace advantage now without it. If he's got it then, that's an extra 40 kilometers an hour or so down the front stretch. That is a lot of pace that he can use to his advantage. Bit of a wobble on the rear end from Williams. As we head into the right-hander, that wasn't as clean that time round though from Oscar. The Welsh Wizard, as I'm now calling him, because every driver needs a nickname, I feel. Bit wide from Junger. That is the screeching sounds of someone possibly spinning in the background. No, it's not. I thought it was Pandratopoulos because he had a red flash. And actually that Vantalant has gone off there, off the road. So Martin Vantalant from P4 down to P6. He falls, unfortunate for him. Younger still on that attack mode. Williams, though, only 5/10 back. Still going to get the toe down the straight. And it's a 4-minute attack mode. So you have 4 minutes of extra power. And Oscar currently isn't actually going to be able to use all that 4 minutes if he doesn't activate it within 32 seconds.
That's what I'm thinking he's going to do. I think he's going to wait until it hits either 4 on the dot or just before, so he has maximum power available to him at the end of this race. You can see, even with Maxi's attack mode on, Williams is still sticking with him. So at the moment, it looks like it's advantage Williams for this race win, or this win in race 1.
Yeah, we'll just have to see. 10 seconds to go. Let's find out what he's going to do. And obviously, we'll have +1 lap, depending on where, well, not +1 lap, but depending on where the checkered flag falls. It may be that Younger has just crossed the line when the clock hits 0. That means we've got an extra lap. It may be that he's just about to cross the line when the clock hits 0, and that means that we won't get an extra lap. All depends where they are on circuit. Williams still not activating that attack mode, but he's still on the back of his teammate. Maxi, I'm sure, holding on for dear life. Trying to find his way through is Oscar.
Very, very interesting that that Maxi is not pulling away as much as you would maybe expect with that extra power from the attack mode he's using.
Indeed.
Williams
well, and there goes Williams using his attack mode. Sorry, Toby. Here we go.
Well, the heat is now on. It's anyone's game now.
It is indeed. Maxi has about a minute and a half left, I think. That should get him about another lap in on the attack mode. And I think we will have... Judging, just doing some quick maths in my head, I think that the checkered flag is going to come out just after these two have crossed the line, so we're going to have an extra lap, so that is definitely advantage Younger. Williams even, and Younger actually has just run out of attack mode, so Oscar, his time is now. He's been all over the back of Maxi Younger so far this race. When he had his attack mode on earlier, Maxi has activated his almost immediately in defense. And then when Maxi had activated his just a few moments ago for the second time, I think he was thinking Oscar would do the same, but Oscar only just activating it and has managed to stick with Younger. It's going to be very, very close between these two. I simply do not know who's going to come out on top here in race 1. 2 minutes and 8 seconds to go here at Zandvoort. We will just about get another... 2 laps in, I think. What can Williams do? If he gets a good exit out of the penultimate corner, he could have a great run into the first turn under the brakes. Maxi, though, really running that curb, not running a lot on the exit, though. And look at that time. It appears to be... It's fluctuating a lot. So we are going to have 2 more laps. And Maxi going defensive on the inside there. Forcing Oscar the long way round. He's going to try, which is very keen, I must say. And he did draw alongside him briefly. Maybe he'll try for the dive bomb into turn 4. Oh, and that's Younger off the road! Younger's going to hit the outside wall. Williams through into P1. And Williams still has the attack mode. Younger will have damage. And I don't think with the time we have remaining, he's going to be able to catch back up, Toby.
No, I think that's it. That's pretty much game over for Younger winning this first race here of 2. That's obviously going to put him at an advantage in race, in race 2 with this reverse grid. So, track position looking like it may be key for the win here.
Indeed it is. That will be Oscar Williams then, presumably taking the race win, unless he makes a mistake. There's 1.7 seconds between himself and Younger. And what a dire mistake for Younger to make. That is such a rare occurrence for Maxi to make a mistake. Obviously that pressure from Oscar finally getting to him, and it just came at the most crucial time as well, into turn 4, where if you go off the road, it is, well, a very short run across the grass, and then a very short run across the hairpin, and then the outside wall, and he is falling back now. 2 seconds separating them. Williams will have to complete another lap. He won't have the opportunity just to wait for the checkered flag because Younger is right there. That is the timing screen hitting 0. Oscar Williams embarks on his final lap of the race. That's Jamie Elston off the track, I believe. Yeah, I'm not too sure what's going on there. I mean, I get blue flags and all, but that's getting out of the way to a new extreme. Wagenvort has actually caught back up to Junger, so I think Junger might have some pretty bad damage. And Wagenvort's actually using an attack mode at the moment, so if Junger makes another mistake in this lap, he could find himself even further down the order. But what matters is that an attack all race long from Oscar Williams has finally persisted. He's just catching up to the back of Panjatopoulos now, who's turned into a rocket ship, it would seem, as he takes off and reaches for the stars over the curb. Typically, you kind of want all four wheels touching the track, I find, in a racing car. But yeah, Oscar Williams putting that pressure on all race long on Maxi Junger, finally getting through. Just a few corners to go now. Junger has actually closed that gap over this past lap. I think Williams just got held up a bit there by Panjatopoulos. 2 corners to go. And it's going to be a very satisfying, I'm certain, and very deserved race victory for Oscar Williams, who was fantastic the entire first race here at Zandvoort. The checkered flag is out. It's going to be Oscar Williams, the Welsh wizard, taking the win here in Zandvoort. Maxi Junger comes home a disappointing second after leading all race long. Jaap Wagenvort takes a very, very solid 3rd place. And those two driving side by side. Almost in a photo finish style of manner, and I would say a very fitting end to the race, but we've still got another one, so you don't need to really worry about having a photo finish just yet, guys. It looks like Erler will come home in 4th, but Willems is right on the back of him. Well, go on board with Willems. I don't think he's going to be able to get onto the back of Erler as he comes to the line. No, he won't. So it's going to be Philip Erler coming home P4. Kees Willems in P5. Martin van der Land will be P6. Then Panjatopoulos P7 and Jamie Elston. A pretty shocking race for him down in P8. But he will be on the pole for race 2. And well, Toby, that was textbook from Oscar Williams, just keeping that pressure on all race and then finally capitalising when Junger made a mistake.
Was indeed. Just, again, good racing from both of those guys, or good driving, rather. Racing obviously playing a part, but I think that wasn't an on-track overtake. But just the pressure, again, getting to Maxi there towards the end of that race, causing him to make an error and ultimately gift the win to his teammate, almost.
Indeed, a great race victory for Oscar Williams there. I believe in the championship battle, that'll bring them even closer, almost neck and neck, I think, just doing the maths off the top of my head. Junger being on 87 points coming into this race and Williams being on 83. However, we've still got a second race to witness here. It'll be Jamie Elston on the pole, obviously being a reverse grid race. Panjatopoulos on P2. Van der Laan P3, Willems P4, Erler, then Wagenvort, then Junger, and then Williams rounding out the grid of 8 cars for race 2. Another 20 minutes. But it would be a very quick 20 minutes if it's anything to judge by that first race, just as we wait for the session to move forward. But yeah, what a race we've just seen here at Zandvoort for race 1 of the Sprint Series. And that technically... Actually, no, it doesn't technically. Ignore me. I'm still being very stupid. But yeah, Maxi Junger, heartbreak for him, I'm sure. He'll be looking for some revenge in race 2. No, I'd love to speak to him after the race. He's usually up for an interview, I'm sure, and you can actually see our fancy new interview graphic, which I've actually got working this time because I came prepared and downloaded it in advance and did try and download it 5 minutes before the race and found out that Google Drive had crashed. So we do actually have some fancy new graphics now as well for the end of the race, which I'm sure everyone's very excited to share with you. Thanks for everyone who worked on those. Obviously, just while we're there, may as well shout out everybody who's putting in the effort here at the Formula Trout League. A lot of people putting in a lot of work and just to make this league run. Obviously, both the Premier Series and the Sprint Series, and it's the highest you can it's the highest kind of you can get in a set of course of single seater racing, and some of the best virtual motorsport you can lay your eyes on. And it is a great effort from everybody into the league, and obviously the drivers as well, who have to put in a lot of time practicing. So my extended thank you to everybody. Oscar Williams then, a great race victory. Hopefully we'll be going onto the grid for race 2 soon. We're seemingly just having a weird kind of shaky camera angle. And again, if you're wondering what that AMG is in the background, it's me. Don't worry. I'm not racing, that's for sure. So Toby then. Williams taking the win. That puts him last on the grid for race 2. Maxi Jung will be P7. That would sound like advantage Maxi Jung, but what we've just seen is, well, with the pressure from Williams, he can make a mistake. What do you think's going to happen?
It's all going to be about carving their way through the cars, starting ahead of them, I think. It's just, yeah, it's obviously, we seem to have a bit of a discrepancy between pace here. We kind of have a 3-horse race up front and then everybody else behind. So it's just going to be whether or not Maxi and Oscar can fight their way through the field cleanly and then go on to do their own thing at the front again.
Well, we'll just have to see. Obviously, reverse grid races, usually in place in single seaters in junior formula, they're often there. Well, the official reason is to allow drivers to prove themselves as being able to overtake. Obviously, because it's one thing just to lead away from pole, and it's another thing to try and come through a pack. But you do get them in some high up series. It's typically in a junior single seater formula though, and well, the reverse grid races tend to be absolutely chaos because everyone is just well out of position in the top 10, or out of all 8 cars, everyone is well out of the position, and that's Jamie Elston disconnecting, I think. Not Jamie Elston, Case Wilhelms teleporting away. Hopefully we'll be back in a minute. But yeah, so there's one of the well, obviously the main aspects of reverse grid racing is that Willems has come back inside someone, not as in that kind of inside. You know what I mean?
I know what you meant. It's fine.
That's
it's
me.
good.
I just wanna. Yeah, hang on. Yeah, that's. Oh, I've pressed the wrong button again. Please, I'm sorry. There we are. That's Philip Erler and Case Wilhelms getting a bit too friendly for a PG stream. Not entirely sure what's happened there. We've got 2 minutes, and Willems has disconnected now from the server. He'll be back in, I'm sure, just back into a spot. But Erler now is not only pushed out of position, but has damage. Well, that's very interesting to see indeed. Hopefully, well, that's not something you see every day, folks. Here at the Formula Trout League, we provide the highest quality Assetto Corsa single-seater racing. And actually, yeah, Philip Erler has just disconnected. And Jamie Elston. What is going on? Where's Jamie Elston going? The man who's supposed to be on pole position, he's just kind of off.
I don't have an explanation for any of this.
I am absolutely lost for words. But clearly, we're just having a few server issues. But we've had a Philip Erler going into the void. Case Willems and Philip Erler getting to know each other a bit too much. Jamie Elston's just decided he fancies about a 20-meter head start. And he's now actually disconnected, so I think we'll be seeing him back in a moment. That's my car again. Look at the damage to the front of Willem's car. That's not great. Willems, and I'm now... Oh, you're joking, aren't you? I'm now stuck on these two. Hang on. I should be able to go... There we go. See, I'm magical at doing this. Oh my goodness me, that's Jamie Elston spawning on Oscar Williams. We've got a few seconds to go until the start of the race, and again the camera's stuck. Apologies, and it's now properly stuck. So we'll just go from this camera angle, and we'll be focusing on Keys at the start of the race. That's going to be Panjo Topoulis then on the pole. Apologies for all the absolute manic scenes we've seen here, as Assetto Corsa just clearly doesn't like us anymore. The red lights are coming on. It's Panjo Topoulis, the Lone Ranger at the front of the grid. And we're underway here for race 2 of the Formula Trout Sprint Series at Zandvoort. Looks like it's Van der Lant, I think that is, who's got a great start and already using his attack mode. Elston's just being left behind already, which is such a shame for him because that's not the start I'm sure he wanted. Van der Lant straight into the lead, it would appear, using it. Both these drivers. Oh no, and there's contact! Panjo Topoulis hard into the wall on the outside. Where's Maxi Junger? He's still down at the back. Oscar Williams is already pushing his way through. Junger's been left behind, not really sure what to do. Obviously lacking confidence with all the chaos. There is Williams already into P3, attack mode on. Case Willems has made some great progress off the back as well. Up to P2. Van der Lant leads the way at the moment, running very wide on the exit of the right-hander though. And what a chaotic few minutes we've just experienced. We've only been racing for one of them. Into the right-hander we go. Van der Lant running a very defensive line. Ooh, and there goes Williams trying to overtake Willems. And Oscar Williams looping round the outside. What a great manoeuvre. And he looks set to try and take the lead very, very quickly. And well, that is not the start that I think Maxi Junger was looking forward to. He's languishing down in P6, and at the moment his teammate Oscar Williams up in P2, fighting for P1, and will very shortly, if the race finishes as it is now, be in the lead of the championship at the halfway mark. And he's got a huge run on Martin van der Lant down the straight. I think the move's going to be done before we even reach turn 1. He's got his attack mode on. Van der Lant does not. Hard on the brakes, up the inside, and Oscar Williams to the lead. And oh, that's Wagenvoort. Yeah, Wagenvoort, who's P3 in the race 1, spinning round at turn 1. Maxi Junger is now in P3 after all of that. Yep, Wagenvoort finds himself facing the wrong way. There is Maxi Junger. He's got about a second and a half to make up, and Oscar Williams is bolting into the distance. Or Toby. It's been about 2 minutes and 15 seconds, and that is some of the most chaotic 2 minutes and 15 seconds of racing we've seen this season.
Just, yeah, ridiculous, ridiculous stuff. Even before the lights even came on, we had just chaos. I have no explanation for what happened there. Obviously, Williams going very, very aggressive at the start of this, just using his one of 2 attack modes available to him just to get himself straight to the front and build a gap as big as he can, which is obviously working because he's got a 2.3 second gap now going up as time goes on anyway to Van der Lant. And obviously you can see Junger also using his attack mode trying to catch up.
Oh, Van der Lant's off! That's Maxi Junger up to P2, so once again, it's taken them 3 minutes exactly to get to where they were at the end of the last race. Van der Lant off the road, and Philip Hurler trying to maybe get through his teammate as well, and Willems and Elston as well. So we've got a Vermin 1-2, Oscar Williams setting the fastest lap of the race. I'm not entirely sure Junger's got the confidence in the car at the moment. He's using his attack mode, but his lap times are well off what Oscar Williams just set. Granted, he has been in traffic, but, you know, that's 3.7 seconds, and he did not. And, well, yeah, Oscar Williams was all over the back of him in the last race, and was clearly the faster of the 2. So Maxi Junger has got a big ask ahead of him. 16 minutes and 20 seconds left here in race 2 of round 4 of the Formula Trout Sprint Series here at Circuit Zandvoort in the Netherlands. And wow, what a chaotic start we've seen. Van der Lant and Erler, a teammate battle very close between those two indeed. Willems and Elston as well, as they shoot past not too fast. But that being said, Wagenvoort is right on the back of Jamie Elston. We're going to ride on board with the Nova Finlandia driver. Oh, that's Van der Lant off the road again. Martin van der Lant off the road again, having a nightmare race too. Oh, that's twice off the... Oh, and he's spinning out now, and I think those road going to... Oh, and he's retired from the race. Van der Lant, I think that was a... I'm going to quit because I'm not very happy, rather than a mechanical failure. And I must say, fair enough, I've been in that scenario before. Toby can vouch for me on that one. As embarrassing as it is. Unfortunate for Martin van der Lant, though. Oscar Williams, let's see what the lap time is in comparison. Maxi Junger slightly slower on that lap by a few hundredths of a second. Still very, very close between the pair of them. But yeah, what a shame for Martin van der Lant. He, you know, was running very well in the first lap anyway. And then just suffering from 2 spins and out of the race. What a shame for him.
Yeah, just unfortunately the way it goes sometimes. Just a bad day in the office for him.
Yeah, that is the... that seems to be the case. Oscar Williams still extending his advantage. Jaap Wagenvoort has got past Elston now and is now setting his sights on Case Willems in front. Yep, the sole Nova Finlandia driver out there today. Obviously, Alex Heinonen being gifted a 1-race ban. I know Alex is watching along, and Alex, I'm very sorry that you're not here. It would be great to see you out on track. Hopefully you'll give us a great performance out there next time. And that's wide from Willems on the exit. And then that's wide from Wagenvoort on the entry. And wide from Willems on the exit again. Wagenvoort slides up the inside. So will Elston, I believe. They're still neck and neck. The Lioneers racing duo. Elston sweeps around the outside. And Willems, one mistake costs him 2 places. Unfortunate there for him. Wagenvoort will now set his eyes on Tim Erler in P1. Oscar Williams a 129.9. And that was 7/10 quicker than Maxi Junger on that lap. He is flying at the moment. And if Wagenvoort continues on his current trend of pace, then we may have the same podium as we did in race 1, which would be phenomenal to see. Jamie Elston using his attack mode, as is Kees Willems, and running wide goes Elston. We're going to go on board with him in this battle. Into turn 4 they go. Will he have a try for the dive bomb? No. Willems goes super defensive anyway, and Elston massively overshoots his braking. Big wobble from Willems on the exit of the mid-corner. Now on the run down through this twisty middle section. Don't clip that curb, or that one either. Trying to use the slipstream, just not getting close enough, running a bit wide. Remember, Elston has a lot of damage after the pre-race grid shenanigans where he spawned in a inside. I believe it was Philip Erler a couple times, running very wide out the right-hander as well. Just can't seem to follow Kees Willems at the moment. And so just saves it. Great save there. Just clipped the curb on the inside. Wow, great display of car control after that mistake there from Jamie Elston. But he's now got a lot of work to do to catch up to Kees Willems, actually running off the road there as well. I think Willems actually ran off in front of him as well, because he's now losing a lot of time. The gap went from around a second to half a second through that corner. And Willems running wide again. Elston will have a better exit of that corner and the toe advantage. Both using their attack mode. So that advantage is cancelled out. That gap still falling. Will Elston be able to try a late dive bomb up the inside? No, he's not going to be. Oh, he's trying to have a look and he's going for it. Great move by Jamie Elston. Oh, there's contact between teammates. Willems goes off the road. Jamie Elston takes the position for the time being. But, oh dear, Kees Willems 2.5 seconds back now. Just sliding slightly out. Elston just going too quick for the exit of the corner, and I think Willems as well was trying to cut back inside for maybe a late switchback. Contact between the pair, and off the road goes Kees Willems. And if there's anybody you don't want to hit, it's your teammate. And I'm sure if there's a race debrief, that is not going to be a particularly happy one over at the Lioneers Racing Discord server. Usually, oh, and that's Elston off the road again. Oh, that's going to be hard impact into the barrier. Oh, great save from Elston. Where's Willems? Oh, Willems is round as well! What's going on with these two? So Elston just had a huge off and has actually managed to keep the gap exactly where it was because Kees Willems was facing the wrong way. What is going on here? We're almost at the halfway point at Zandvoort in race 2. And it's... I'm a bit lost for words. Crazy stuff. Wagenvoort gaining on Erler now. And that lap was 0.8 of a second faster. Oscar Williams actually... Ooh, Oscar Williams, however, has used both his attack modes. Obviously, in the quest to set a fastest lap, Willems has gone round again, I think. Yeah, that is very much in the gravel on the exit of the final corner. Panjo Tapoulis gets up into P6. Willems has a lot of work to do ahead of him today. Another driver, as Toby said earlier, having a bad day in the office. But yeah, and there goes Junger now using his attack mode. So both Vermin drivers using their attack modes very early. This is not what I expected to see at all, Toby.
No, this is, again, just both of these guys in a league of their own this race, I think it's fair to say. Both of them just doing pretty much whatever they would like to and just going to bring back a good result for these two, I think. 1-2 on the books. But again, there's the title. That is the focus. If Junger's able to close the gap towards Williams, I'm sure he is absolutely going to launch an attack if he can.
That wouldn't surprise if they finish as they do now. Wagenvort has just got through Erler, as we can see there. Yeah, if they finish as they do now, Oscar Williams will take the lead in the championship at the halfway mark, which is not, I'm sure, what Max Junger wants. It won't be a great big gap, still be very tight between the pair of them, but that'll be advantage Junger heading into the second half of the season. So we just carry on following Jaap Wagenvort now. If they finish as they stand now, we will have exactly the same podium in both races. I don't think we've ever seen that in the Formula Trout Sprint Series before. What a phenomenal event we've had here at Zandvoort, it must be said. And just looking across, Erler still in the back. I think Elston, no, he's not gone round, sorry, he's just set a new lap. So obviously, if anybody's wondering with the timing screens, the red time, I still get confused myself sometimes, I do apologise for that. The red number on the lap time means that's their just set a lap. If their name goes red, they've had an incident. And then, obviously, the rest is pretty self-explanatory. So we're just going to carry on following Jamie Elston round. The Lion is racing, guys, having a dreadful race 2, activating his last attack mode. And, oh, that was very, very fine margins. So we'll just carry, no, let's go for an onboard lap with the man in the lead. Oscar Williams. If I can select his car, that would be great. Thank you very much. Just coming out of the first corner now. And finding his way into turn 4. This is where Max Junger went off in race 1 on the second to last lap. Just clipping the inside curb, bit of a wobble. Now on the run now into this right-hander, very, very quick. Even on these road-going tyres. Through the right-hander. Ooh, just gripping the grass a bit, having to lift off there. That's not what he wants. Junger will be closing the gap a little bit with that, but not a big enough mistake to for him to gain, well, 3 and a bit seconds that he'll need. And, well, there's not got any attack modes left either. 6 minutes and 45 seconds remaining here in race 2. And at the moment, it looks like this man, Oscar Williams, is very much going to be the driver taking the victory. Obviously touching wood, God forbid anything happens. But it can. We saw last race Max Junger led the whole way until 2 laps from the end, making a small but crucial mistake through turn 3, off the road and into the wall. That is the worst place in the track you can make a mistake, because there is A, no runoff, and B, it's a very, very short run into turn 4, where the wall is right on the exit of the track. Ooh, and that's a bit of a wobble. Oscar Williams and a big lock-up from Max Junger in the background as well. Sparks just flying up everywhere at the moment. And looks like Willems has caught onto the back of Panagiotis, whose name is so long it doesn't even fit in our box. There you are, take a bow. You might be one of the few individuals who has the privilege of claiming a long surname. Willems currently on the attack still. Oh, there's contact! Oh, a big accident between Willems and Panagiotis. I'm not too sure what happened there. Unfortunately, we don't have replays in Assetto Corsa, but what I think's occurred is Panagiotis had just got on the brakes a long way before Kees Willems thought he would, and Willems just smashing into the back of him. Gains the position though, and yeah, I mean, Toby, it's very easy to misjudge somebody else's braking point. So that does not look like a very healthy car from Kees Willems. But you know, is that, do you think, what just happened there?
I think it probably must have been just, again, these cars very, very tricky on the brakes. If you're just a little too much on them, it's just a lockup, and then from that point on, you're pretty much not going to stop, or there is a very, very slim window of actually making the corner from that point. So,
with that being said, Willems has just run wide as well. That being said, Panagiotis has also just retired from the race, so it doesn't matter anymore. Carry on.
That's with 6 horse races now.
Yes.
Just yeah, that it's very easy to do in these cars. Very easy to catch a break or snag a break, as I like to say, and then just either run off or alternatively, and probably most unfortunately, into the car ahead of you.
Yeah, shame there for Pandrastopoulos, our second retirement of the day and of the race as well. And it was having a pretty solid race, to be fair to himself, just staying out of trouble. He's one of the drivers who doesn't quite have the pace compared to a lot of others, but he was still running very solidly. It's a shame to see him go. Keys Willem's now occupying the last running spot on the grid. Just under 4 minutes to go now. The gap between Young and Williams is closing. It's now under 3 seconds, but I don't think it's closing enough. Maybe Williams even has just started to chew through his tyres a little bit. Coming to the end of the race, he was setting some very, very quick laps early on, but I don't think that Young has enough in the bank to catch up to Williams, and then he's got to pass him as well, which is well, that's another experience entirely. And they've got 16.3 seconds separating Euro and Wagenvort. That shows you how fast these guys are going. Simply phenomenal stuff from the Vermin drivers. They've been dominant all season long, but this really is something else, you know. And it's a track like Zandvoort it's actually, you know, there's not a huge difference in pace between the top drivers and the very, very top drivers. Someone like Monaco, for example, I think the pole position in this, it was about a second in the first race of the season at Monaco for the Azure Grand Prix, or Azure E-Prix, I think it would be referred to with these Formula Lithium cars. And while it wasn't quite that big here, it's that's certainly a commanding performance. Young is still gaining little by little, but little too late, unfortunately, for Maxi. As it stands, he will lose the lead of the Drivers' Championship, handing it over to his teammate Oscar. That being said, he's gained a lot through there, so Oscar looks like he may have made a mistake. And I am starting to suspect maybe that Oscar Williams has just chewed through his tyres a little. There's a road going very... Ooh, that was very wide from Junger there on the exit of that corner. Those tyres, obviously they're road going. All weather, well, not quite road going. They're a bit softer than most road tyres, and by that I mean a lot softer than most road tyres. But they can be used legally on road cars. They're obviously all weather, meeting all the safety standards. Obviously the heat cycle is maybe a bit different to that of a slick tyre that you'd see on every other single-seater category that I can think of, maybe bar Skip Barber in the United States. We just follow around Williams now. We will have one more lap after this one. So yeah, maybe Oscar Williams just pushing a little bit too hard for those tyres. Oh, Pandrastopoulos comes back in. So maybe, I think Pandrastopoulos has actually had a disconnect. He won't be allowed to rejoin the race, I don't think. But he has just rejoined the server. So shame for Pandrastopoulos if that was an internet issue. Obviously those things can happen in sim racing. Dropouts, well, they are a factor. You have to kind of hope they don't come, but it's much akin to a mechanical failure in real life. Except, well, the difference is in real life, mechanical failures seem to get less and less common with every passing day, such as the advanced engineering that goes into motorsports. But sim internet dropouts seem to just keep coming. Williams will have to do one more lap unless he drives a bit slowly through these last few corners. Junger, again, 2.8 seconds away. And again, just to reiterate, it is the exact... Sorry, as I just bring up the bar on the right-hand side of the screen. It is the exact same podium from the first race that we're going to see here today. On to the final lap of the race goes Oscar Williams, as does Maxi Junger. Jaap Wagenvort is, well, about a quarter of the track behind them, and Tim Erler is about halfway round. So Wagenvort, while he's fallen a long way back from the lead too, is still a long way ahead of the driver behind. So he's certainly not gone very slowly. And then Elston and Willems behind Erler have been caught in incident after incident. Lion is Racing not having a great time out there today. Obviously, the orange of Holland, which runs on their cars, the team not being Dutch, but just running an orange colour scheme. Clearly not being in their favour, even though we are in the Netherlands. There's no orange army of Max Verstappen to cheer them on today, as there usually would be at a single-seater race at this circuit. Oscar Williams, it's been a fantastic performance from him in race 2. In race 1, he kept his nerve, he kept on the back of Maxi Jünger when it seemed like that Jünger would drive into the distance with his attack mode, and he inherited the win when Jünger finally succumbed to the pressure. Big shoot of sparks there from the front end of the car as he bottoms out. And now in race 2, he hasn't put a single foot wrong. It's going to be 2 race wins out of 2 for Oscar Williams as he rounds into the final corner. And alongside that, it will be the championship lead as well. Oscar Williams sweeps the weekend with a race 2 victory. What a performance from the Vermin driver. His teammate Maxi Jünger comes home in P2 once again. What a performance from these two. But Oscar Williams sweeping the weekend. That was phenomenal, Toby.
Yeah, textbook driving from Williams this weekend. Just very, very well done. Did everything he needed to do, both races, and obviously capitalised and came home with maximum points, I believe.
Yeah, he will come home. Maximum points, 25 points apiece. That's Jamie Elston coming home. Or not Jamie, Jack Wagenbort, even, apologies, coming home in P3. It'll be Philip Erler in P4. Again, the same podium in both races. I have never seen that before, ever. And I don't think the Sprint Series has either. That is a phenomenal, phenomenal statistic. It just goes to show how quick those front three were. Erler does a little celebratory smash into the barriers. Obviously, this not being real life, we don't have to worry about the monetary costs of crashing the car. Jamie Elston will come home in P5 with a unlucky performance. He was due to go off pole today in the second race, and then just ended up coming off from the back row of the grid after the most bizarre pre-race grid I've ever seen. Just he had Philip Erler spawn inside of him twice, and then he disconnected and spawned on top of Maxi Jünger, I believe it was. So unfortunate for him. Case Willems comes home P6, the last car out on the track. Another driver with a lot of bad luck out there today. And Pandro Topoulos and Martin Vanselant, 2 DNFs from the racing today. Unlucky for them. But what a race we've seen here today. And now you can see our fancy new interview graphic. And we'll have some interviews in a very short second. And I believe the first interview we will have is one Maxi Jünger. So I'm just going to drag him into the commentator channel now. Maxi, can you hear us?
Yes, I can. Hello.
Hello. Well, first of all, good performance out there today. Obviously taking home 2 P2s, but what could have been in race 1 a win. What happened? Did you just make a little mistake into turn 3?
I don't know what happened actually. I'm sorry, my mic's playing up. It felt like I suddenly got a lot of speed. I don't know if it was me or I got hit. I'm not sure. I'll have to look at it. But anyway, I think he would have gotten past anyway, whatever had happened, because he was very smart with using the attack mode. He kept using it to force me to use it, and then at one point he got close to me, so I had to use it again. And he still had one, so at the end there, when he was chasing me close, he was using his last one, and I was empty. So I think he would have gotten past anyway. So good job from him. I'm very happy to be able to battle with Oscar.
Yeah, well, it was some great battling indeed. Now we're halfway through the season. You're P2 in the championship as it stands, still very close with Oscar.
Yep.
And just kind of looking forward, do you just expect to carry this battle right to the end?
Yeah, I hope so. Like, I think it's 9 points now. If you would have told me before it started that that'd be 9 points off the lead halfway through, I wouldn't have believed you. So, but yeah, I think both of us can win this one, and Jaap as well. He's done very well so far. So, I think the three of us we're gonna duke it out until the end.
Well, thank you very much, Maxi, for joining us, and a great performance out there today. That was Maxi Junger, everybody. P2 in both races. Great performance from him. Now we're going to speak to Kees Willems, who, well, had a bit of an interesting night. Kees, you there?
Yes, I am. Hello.
Hello. So, it was a, well, bit of an interesting couple of races for you tonight. Just kind of run us through what happened.
Well, obviously, quite a lot happened. This being our this being our home Grand Prix, obviously we have to try to do our best, but we also don't have our best races from time to time. Obviously, with like half of the grid, we were always able to get some points, even if they were a little less than we wanted to get in this Grand Prix. But race one went decent from as far as I can remember. At the moment, I believe I had an incident with Martijn, which was quite unfortunate. Then race two, I had a weird thing. My game suddenly crashed. I had to rejoin. I was on the, I was glitched inside Philip. Then I had to rejoin again. Then it was fine. But then Philip got like sent out into space or something. It was really weird.
Yeah, we
Not
were.
sure that looked on stream.
Yeah, we were watching. We were actually on board with Philip as he was entering the void, and it was an experience to watch. I can tell you that much.
Yeah. Then further for race two, I had an incident with, I believe, Status. Not sure what turn it's called. It's one of the chicanes. He braked really early there, and even I braked like really early there. I'll have to watch the replay footage. But yeah, apart from that, I think I got P6 in both races. So decent points for me.
Yeah, there is some decent points. Obviously, one thing to bear in mind, obviously I didn't really mention this during the race because I just wasn't thinking, but because there was only 8 competitors, no matter where you finished, you're still going to get points because everyone's inside the top 10. So, you know, it may have been a pretty poor weekend, but, you know, you're still pulling in some good points for the team and some good points for yourself. So that's a pretty good result for you.
Yeah, and I believe my teammate also he finished ahead of me, I believe, in both races. So we got even more points from that, which is obviously always good. And yeah, let's get focused on for next week's premiere race.
Well, thank you very much, Case, for joining us, and yeah, good job out there today, and well done on getting those points in.
Thank you, man. Thanks for commentating.
No worries. That was Case Willems, everybody. Now we're going to speak to Stathis Panjatopoulos. Stathis, can you hear us? Stathis, you there?
Yes.
Hello. How are you doing?
I'm good.
That's good to hear. So, race 2, you kind of ended up going off of pole position after everything that happened with a Case during the kind of warm up for the grid. So you end up kind of going off pole position. In the end, you unfortunately didn't finish. What kind of happened there? Was that did you have an accident, or was there an internet issue, or?
On the first lap, I was sliding through that chicane, so I braked very early, and Case just went on me. It was my fault. It wasn't his fault, so I will not try to get him a penalty. Then the server just crashed. I had issues with the connection. I didn't know if I must disconnect and connect again, so I just ran alone. And then when I reconnected, I saw that I can't finish the race. So it's a shame that the server wasn't stable today, but we focus on the next race of Sprint Series.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, next time out, if we just pull up the calendar onto the screen, unfortunately you'll be seeing a qualifying thing, because I did forget to bring it up in qualifying. Obviously, going to Singapore, is that a track you're particularly fond of, or?
I haven't raced with this car, but it will be tough because it's a very narrow street circuit, so it will be fun. Maybe the setup. We will see.
Well, I can. Well, my good luck to you for that event. It should definitely be an exciting one. Singapore is always a good circuit to watch, and I'm sure everyone racing will have a good time out there as well. So thank you very much for joining us, Stathis. Unlucky out there today. You had a good performance, and unfortunately had a rather unfitting end to your night. But yeah, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Stathis Panjatopoulos, everybody there. Sorry, I seem to remove him as he was mid saying something, and I can get rid of the calendar now quickly if I just bring everything else back up, well, I was just about to say, just before we have one last interview with Jaap Wagenvoort, I was just about to say I did actually forget to loop the interview flag, so this would usually be up the entire time. Instead, it just kind of cuts out after 2 run-throughs, and yeah, but unfortunately that'll be fixed for next time, I can promise. And now one last interview. P3, both races. Yap Wagenvort. Yap, you there?
Hey, Ross.
Hello. So, great results out there for you today. Got in some good points hauls. Just kind of run us through what happened.
Yeah, well, thanks, Ross. Well, qualifying was pretty decent, actually. I bruised my ankle pretty severely last Monday in soccer practice.
Ow.
With me, 40 years old, should stay away. But walking was impossible, and racing completely. So I just tried it this evening and see how it goes. And well, it didn't went too bad. I kept the car straight and even managed to pass those Hermans in qualifying. But of course, I knew that they would be quicker. But first race was pretty good. Yeah, P3 was just my pace. Was no way to fight them. But so yeah, I was happy. And race 2 was good. I had a collision with Case, which I think was my fault because I went a little bit too narrow in the corner. I didn't give him too much room. Don't know how you guys saw it, but well, that was a shame. But then recovered to P3, and well, that was good.
Yeah, it was indeed. And well, as I said, good haul of points for you still in this championship fight. Obviously, those Vermin guys looking very, very strong up the front at the moment. Is your goal just kind of to hold on to P3 in the championship?
Well, no. The goal is always to win. But you have to put the practice in as well. And well, the car hasn't been my favorite so far. It's just so difficult to race it on the limit. You can't actually race it on the limit. You really have to be so careful with it, and it isn't really enjoyable to drive it. Maybe well, it's all about putting the effort in, and I should put more effort in to really fight those guys. So yeah, it is what it is.
Well, indeed. Well, again, great results out there. Great haul of points. And thank you for joining us, Yap.
Thank you very much, guys. Thank you for commentating.
Oh, it's no worries. Yap Wagenvort, everybody. P3 in both the races. That will be it from the Formula Trout Sprint Series Round 4 here at Zandvoort. And it's thank you for tuning in. And thank you for Toby as well for coming along.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's always a pleasure. Make sure you're tuning in 2 weeks' time, as I was talking about with Stathis, for the next round 5 of the Sprint Series at the Singapore Street Circuit. Should be very interesting on a more circuit that's more suited to these Formula Lithium cars. And obviously, next week as well, on Saturday, we're back with the Premier Series. I believe it's round 6, unless I'm mistaken. I'm just double checking where it is, over at Silverstone. So that should be a very interesting race. Obviously, a classic Formula 1 style racetrack there, so that should be, as always, a great event. So make sure you tune in for